Let's see. Says we're going live. Says we're going live. And we're live. So hello, everybody, and welcome to Roundtable with the Stream Team. And this is where we come to talk to amazing content creators that we have met, their journeys of where they started and where they are today. Today, we have with us a very good streamer friend of mine who I've known for, 2-3 years now? It's Denty. How are you today?
What's going on, brother?
Doing well. So we're gonna talk to him about some amazing things he's been doing, what he's been up to, where he began, and everything. And we have tonight with us. We have El Boogie, 0208. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm happy to see everyone's back from our almost a month hiatus. It felt like.
Was it really that long?
It felt like it was 3 weeks in December. And then, wasn't it 3 weeks? I think it was 3 weeks in December, and then last week, and then this week. So it's been almost 4 weeks. So happy to see you're back, and our buddy MJ. MJ is a boss.
Yep.
Yo, what's up? How are you?
Doing good. How about yourself?
You're very quiet, and you didn't use your catchphrase.
What?
What's poppin'?
Oh yeah.
That is your catchphrase.
Yeah.
Oh, please. You don't be addict on me here. Get some adrenaline, get a Red Bull, and it's 9 o'clock at night.
If it makes you feel better, Snelly, I've got a monster in my hand, so we'll be all right.
I have my tea here laced with some black
cooking. Yeah, lit tar heroin. Yeah.
Let's go. My black tar bourbon. So, which is my black tea for the evening. So, let's start this up. So Denty, why did you decide originally that you wanted to become a content creator, that you wanted to start streaming on Twitch and going down that path?
Okay. Well, you want like a short and sweet answer? Or you want like a long and detailed answer?
You can do whichever you want. I mean, we got time. So if you want to do the long detailed, or if you want to synopsis some portions of it, whichever you want to do.
Well, the short and sweet is like I've been gaming. I got a Nintendo like when I was 3. It was a hand me down, and I've been playing games ever since I was 3 years old, literally. So whenever I was one of those kids that was just like, oh, hey, you're supposed to be doing your homework. Nope, I'm gaming. Like every game that came out, every new game, I needed it. And I just been gaming forever, super passionate about gaming. Only thing I really cared about was ever gaming. And I worked really hard all the time. So I could just always have the new system, every console, the new PC game, new PC parts. I always worked so I could do that. The longer answer would be, my passion for video games. I grew up being told I couldn't make money playing video games or even creating video games. And it was just like that lack of information. And that's like not the world that we live in now. Mm-hmm. And honestly, in regards to how I got started on Twitch, what it meant to be, if I'm being completely transparent, I did not. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you could say however which way you want. You could do whatever you want as long as you're not like streaming a million curse words together. So, but other than that, you're totally fine.
I'll try my fucking best. Okay. No, I'm sorry. The longer answer still continues in regards to choosing Twitch. At the time when I wanted to stream, Twitch was the only platform that really had a competitive edge, had any edge, was getting traction, and what it meant to be a quote unquote content creator, what it means today, and how people use that word. And when I was interested in doing it, it's not the same thing. The people I was watching was Co-Carnage. The people I was watching was Summit, K-Goth, King Ithalian rather, Towley playing World of Warcraft. Like those guys weren't making YouTube videos. They weren't on Instagram. They weren't Tim. I was watching Tim. He wasn't on YouTube making a video every day with an editor, blah, blah, blah. They were streaming and they were engaging with their community. And that's just not the name of the game anymore. Like if you are doing just that, you are sitting on Twitch wasting your time. Mm-hmm. And so the content creator, I've actually like learned this throughout there. I got partnered doing what I wanted to do, which was stream and engage. And I had like an unbelievable following playing the Division, which is where I met you. and then the script flipped and the game changed, and what it meant to be a successful streamer changed. And I don't have the skill set to. I didn't have the skill set. I've been teaching myself master classes, all this other stuff. I've got the whole Adobe Photoshop Premiere Suite, and it's like now it's like, oh hey, I just switch. If I still want to do this, I need to become a content creator and not just a streamer who is engaging with the community that I'm trying to build.
So you pretty much, what you're saying is like when you started, it was just straight engagement with the community, and that's how I started. I mean, that's what it was just engaging with the community, talking to the people, doing your thing. I didn't have time to do that.
I got me partnered, yeah.
But now it's like you have to diversify everything. You have to be the master of 6 different hats, and you have to be able to push yourself forward, or you have to be making enough money to have other people be doing that for you.
Right.
So
correct.
Please continue.
No, I was just gonna answer your original question, but you're absolutely right. I'm passionate about video games. No matter what I'm doing, I always go back to video games. I have a background. I went to school, got a degree in computer science. I've worked in a bunch of different tech jobs. I hate sitting at a cube, which is funny that I actually don't mind sitting in my desk all day, but it's different. I just don't like sitting and not talking to people. And then I went into sales. Turns out that I fucking live for working for my pay, working for commission. I love that. So I worked as a consultant for a number of years, but in my free time, all I did was watch streamers. I would watch Co-Carnage. I've got like thousands of hours over the years of watching Co-Carnage, Tim the Tatman, Summit. Those guys like come up. I even watched Ninja when Ninja was like young and shit talking all the time. I loved that Ninja. I used to watch Dr. Disrespect when he first started, and then he stopped because he became a developer, and then he came back. And I remember when he had like 300 people on his channel. Like now it's like 3 million in the arena.
Yeah,
it's just like that vibe doesn't exist anymore, but it's still there. It's just a different name of the game. I'm still passionate about it. I love like the idea of being a streamer, but the content creator question, I still ask myself, like, am I really a content creator or am I a streamer? Because I feel like what it used to mean to me is not the same thing, but now it has to.
From what I mean, I don't know how the panel members feel, but like what I felt that content creator now, it encapsulates the word streamer, because I think that a lot of people now, and prime example is last week, and I knew this. I had a feeling that I was my brain in the back of my head, I was gonna bring this up. Those guys from Escape from Tarkov, them doing the Twitch drops for their game, they ended up making that whole entire community blow up. It it went from people, because I've been streaming Escape from Tarkov since October of last year, and there was only like 10 to 15,000 people watching, and then it just boomed up to 250 to 280,000 people watching, all because people wanted that, and that was pure publicity that they wanted. And the guys from Battlestate Games ended up handpicking a bunch of individuals to being allowed to participate in those Twitch drops. And if you look, those were always the biggest streamers possible. So it was very smart for them, for marketing, to allow that to happen. And that's why I think that it's turned into more of another way to market people's games. And it's just what's going to end up happening, because streamers are now content creators and marketers and all these other channels, just not just streamers, which I think was a great way to do it. If you wanted to see someone playing Warcraft or Division or any of those games, or Fortnite, you could just go and watch them. But now they have to produce these videos, or they won't have those consistent views anymore, because people will forget about them.
Well, I mean, that was always a thing with streaming. First of all, let me say this. I agree with pretty much everything that you were saying. It's not the first time something like this has happened. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Warframe. Warframe has an identical track record with Escape from Tarkov. And while I personally enjoy Escape from Tarkov, because I love games like Survival in the Division's what got me partnered. This is right up my alley. I know that even, I started playing it today again. But I know for a fact that this, that 10,000 number that you were talking about, it will be that number again. Shoot.
Oh yeah.
And this is a hype train and it's a hype wave and people are going to ride it. And I'm looking at the directory right now. Summit sitting at the top of it. Right. And then Presley, who is sitting with 100,000 viewers, is sitting with 10K. And this is like the roller coaster ride. Now, the people in this directory who stay relevant will be the ones who create content on the biggest search engines, that being YouTube and being easily accessible on Google. So the people who create content, the people who can keep their momentum moving will be the people who are successful, and regardless of what game they play. But it's interesting to hear your perception of it, because so I've been in you're aware that I've been under like a lot of NDAs for different games and a lot with the Division, with Ubisoft in general. And they've been very kind to me. And it's just interesting to see the front side of like people's perception, and then people like what's actually happening behind the scenes, and like how much money is moving around. And you're not wrong at all, but there's just so much more money being like thrown around. And a lot of it's interesting where you're like, oh, the biggest streamers get things. It's really not even so much about that. You'd be surprised how much of it is just who you know, who you know, and who you're friends with.
Well, like Elle, I mean, you can chime in on this. Like, a lot of people for Microsoft, like for the Xbox community, correct?
A few people.
Just you're not gonna drop any names and pick them up off the ground or anything like that.
Not at all.
No, not at all. but like you can, like, you've seen that insight behind the fold.
Oh yeah, I know how the sausage is made. It's different.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting that, like, hearing it from other people's perspectives that have seen the other side, and to hear it from people's perspectives that don't know. So it's kind of interesting to see how that it kind of like it flip flops back and forth. But we can literally sit here and talk about stuff like that all day. But what I really want to talk about is Denti. So I'm gonna kind of pull back the reins a little bit on before we end up doing a tangent that could probably talk for a couple of hours. When you started streaming, what were like the challenges that you ended up facing when you started?
It's actually being physically inactive. So like playing. So here's the perception, right? It's like, it's not, your job's not hard. You're just playing video games. Like, don't fucking complain about anything, you punk. And it's like, yeah, you're right. I play video games, but like sitting for hours, constantly talking for hours, nonstop, like being on, knowing that someone's watching you, and like everything that you're doing is changing someone's perception of you, and your perception is people's perception of you is everything. Right. And really being on, it's like one thing when you're a YouTuber and all you have to do is smile in these frames, and you can cut the 50 times you cussed and the 50 times you messed up out. But like sitting there and having to be on the whole time. When I first started streaming, I could not read chat and be good at the game at the same time. Or I was either good with chat. Well, yeah, it's like a muscle. It's like riding a bike. You eventually build it and it becomes a callus, and then it's just there. And so sometimes I will see chat in my peripheral vision. I have 3 monitors. I can always see you. I'm ignoring you because I don't want to suck. And so like there are some chats you go to and they're like, oh, I'm not talking to my chat because that's not the kind of content I'm creating. I didn't start my channel because I didn't want to not talk to people. I do want to talk to people. If anything, I want them to like give me an opportunity to get on the mic with me so I can make them laugh and, talk as much shit as humanly possible, as like bro friendly shit talking. But like sometimes people don't want you talking and laughing. They want to see you not suck at a game. They want to watch you be better than them. They want to see you be that NBA player who's dunking when they can't dunk, or that NASCAR driver who's driving at speeds they can't drive, or just that Shroud who's aiming the way they can't aim, or that Tfue who's yeeting the way they can't yeet. Like, you know what I mean? Like they want to see that. And so
do you feel like I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say in survival, I took the world record for survival wins, and it was just hard grinding, but I couldn't talk. I couldn't talk at the same time. I couldn't pay attention to everyone.
Right.
So it was hard because you're always asking yourself like, what's important? What kind of channel are you building? And I modeled my original channel after Co-Carnage, because his motto is happy, helpful, friendly. And while I might not necessarily be the friendliest person, because if you talk shit to me, I'm gonna let you have it. But I definitely wanted to be helpful, and I definitely wanted to like kind of educate people while still having fun.
Right.
So
well, that's what I was gonna say.
The balance is hard.
You had to pick that balance. You had to, because like we were saying before, I've known you for a while. We've gamed before together. We played Division 2 together. We played Division 1 together. We've played a bunch of different games together. And like you play this fine line of either you want to be the best of the best, hence all your Fortnite times that you've gone through, and I've seen you do some crazy stuff in there that there's no way that I can perform. And then you can either go in that direction or like the family friendly direction. And I know that's you kind of have to, you have been skirting that line.
I've tried. So I stopped cussing when I played Fortnite. I would try to think in my head, it's like, all right, what wouldn't I say standing outside of a church? You know what I mean? Like if I said like what I feel about it standing out, I'm not saying what I wouldn't say in a church, but if I was standing outside of one, would I be like, ooh, what did I just say? Yeah. And I ooh. Or what I wouldn't say like at work, you know, maybe around the water cooler, but you know what I mean? Like, but I feel like part of my appeal was the fact that, and it's actually interesting because as this year was coming up, I was kind of going over some of my most popular clips and some of my most popular content. And it's always when like I was talking shit to someone or saying something ridiculous or like just kind of engaging with someone. And I have like the ability to not make necessarily someone else the butt of the joke. I don't have a problem laughing at myself or making myself the butt of the joke, but I just want everyone to laugh and everyone to have a good time. And I have a foul mouth. So it's hard to be that nice guy, family friendly all the time when you know, like I say like, oh, I want to model after Co, but Co doesn't cuss. Right. His worst swear that you're going to hear him say is shit. So like you're not going to hear an F-bomb on that channel. On my channel, I might say something. I mean, I have an emote that pretty much implies, you know, doing a helicopter dick move. So it's just one of those things where I have to be me. Right. But family friendly is hard to do because, like, let's take Ninja, right? You take like Ninja, who he's playing PUBG and he's cussing and talking all the smack, and then you take Ninja, who's playing Fortnite, and you can watch it with your grandmother, and you're not gonna whatever. And that's obviously like Ninja Prime, not now. Ninja is
that was a money decision,
right? Well, I mean that's part of the game, like. So everyone on Twitch is either even though they're your friends, and either way you have they can be your coworker, they can be your friend, they're also your competition at all points, no matter what. You're all competing.
I went to a couple of panels at PAX East, and someone actually said that this is a very large partner streamer, which I'm gonna leave their name out of it. He said that when he was streaming and he was single, he said what his objective for his life was, he wanted to start streaming at X time and end at X time. And if he noticed one of the bigger streamers started an hour before him, he started an hour before them and then ended an hour after them. And he kept lapping them. And his streams ended up turning into 19, 20 hour streams a day because he just wanted to encompass his time in that game as much as he possibly could. Not because.
Can I ask you a question?
What?
What's that person's health like?
Well, that's the difference. The panel I was at was talking about work and life balance. So things have changed for him now. But when he was back then, it was an intense type of situation. Whereas now it's not the case. but
Well,
to be
you
able,
used to be able to organically grow. That's what my channel is, an organically grown channel on Twitch with Twitch, no YouTube, no none of that and other stuff coming in, no viewers from Instagram, no nothing. I can see my traffic. I can see where it comes from.
Yeah.
It was all Twitch all the time. People just found me, and I did the same exact thing. Sexy Hexy, Chappie,
Yep. That's how I met you.
all playing the Division 1. And I would literally sit wait until they were all ending their streams. I knew everyone's schedule. I knew exactly when they were streaming and exactly when they were ending. And I was on 30 minutes before the biggest stream ended, and I would just wait for the raining downfall. I like to think of Twitch as like a rainforest. Every directory is a rainforest, and the top row is the top of the canopy, and it's going to see the most sunlight. And occasionally there's a gap in the canopy and the rain falls down, but not always. But if you know when, sometimes you can time a gap, and that doesn't happen anymore in the larger directories, but there are some more moderate sized directories where you can still do that, but it doesn't work the same way. I also leverage something that doesn't work anymore. I used to stream on console, and PlayStation and Xbox have their own, like before Mixer was Mixer, that you could kind of just go Xbox Live and then stream directly from your Xbox. We could just go to Twitch. And PlayStation doesn't have their own thing, but they have PlayStation Live, but it shows everyone on PlayStation who's your friend. And so I have like 2,000 friends on PlayStation. And so 2,000 people were seeing when I went live on top of the people who followed me. And so that doesn't work anymore because so many people do it, and it only works. Only games they watch is like Fortnite and Call of Duty. So it might kind of work, but you'd really have to like do a 12-hour shift. But yeah, that was another thing that helped. It's really hard to do that anymore. I don't think it's possible to get partnered doing that.
Right. Do you feel like you've accomplished, or I should say, you are accomplishing your goals at what you want to do? I'm sorry?
Not, whatever you're going to say, not even close.
Yeah.
Do I feel like I'm accomplished or anything? Like, no. If I was going to say, if I quit today, did I leave it all on the table? Absolutely not. I've been learning too much. I've been reading too many books. I've been working behind the scenes to like change shift. I'm working on a complete rebrand and overhaul of my everything. So
yeah.
No.
Do you feel like, because you've noticed how things have been going, and you're like me, we both got screwed with Division 2 with what our channels ended up doing. So do you feel like it's kind of like you have to rebrand now because you wanted to get that?
No. It was a learning opportunity. I put all of my eggs in a basket. I hitched my horse to the cart to the Division 1 and then to the Division 2. And the Division 1 died. I had an opportunity to leave and go and play PUBG and PUBG partners. I had those opportunities. I met those people. Chappie and Solid, they both went to PUBG and they stuck with it. I personally didn't have the same, like they had been streaming for a minute. When I started and I met Chappie, he had been streaming for 3 years before me. Solid had been streaming for 2 years before me, and before that, he was a moderator for Sexy Hexy. And so these dudes, like, they were telling me, and they're like, "No, dude, you need to come with us right now." And I was just like, "I'm scared. I am sitting at the top of the director every time I play the division. I don't want to risk losing that." But I didn't know what was going to happen, and they did. And so I had to learn it. It was an opportunity. Did it suck? Yes. Did I like take a hit? I took a big hit. Did the Division 2 not being all it was cracked out to be, and failing and drowning in its own hype hit me? It absolutely did, but it's not a bad thing. It's a learning opportunity, and like you fail your way to victory. So it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I'm not I'm not disagreeing with you. It definitely is something, and that's why I've kind of I feel like you have to have a plan, and when your plan goes south real quick, you have to start working. And you have to go, okay, this didn't work right, so what are we going to do? We got to do it here. All right, this didn't work right, we're going to have to go here. Like, you're going to have to kind of twist and turn and serpentine, if you will, to get to the way you've been going.
Yeah, you got to twerk your way to victory, man.
Yes, exactly. How you got to get to those extracts. So, how did your family feel, like, when you said, "Hey, I'm going to be a full-time streamer. This is what I'm going to do"? Huh?
My circumstances with my family is not the same as like most. Like my family is kind of like the pillar family, and then I'm the oldest son, oldest grandson, oldest cousin, and I've also always done the best financially. So Yeah, no, that's it. I did very
He
well
said
for
he's
myself
just the
before I
shit.
started doing. What was that?
What did you say? Al?
I said he's like, I'm just the shit.
No, I didn't, I
I don't
didn't
have
even mean
that
it like
problem.
that. No, I didn't mean it like that. I meant it like I have to be the most responsible. So like in that regard, I
No, I
was
get
like,
you
I've been
totally.
working since I was 14 years old. You know what I mean? Like I paid for my little sister's college education, you know? So like, I grew up in a household. My mom was disabled. So like, there was a lot of struggles. And so I had to work. I paid for my own college. I paid for my sister's college. My dad was paying for my mom's medical bills. Like it was a grind and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so I'm just used to grinding. So when it comes to like how it affected my family thinks it's super cool. My dad, I never ask anybody for anything when it comes to my family, and like they're just super supportive. And even when I do tell them what I'm doing, like here's my personality type. When I moved out of my house, my parents found out 3 weeks later when they thought I went on a vacation. I just never came back.
The
I
permanent
literally
vacation in Miami.
yeah, I was just like, oh, hey, I'm gone. And they're like, okay, see you when you come back. Because I used to travel all the time. I was trying to fill my entire passport. And I was always gone and I was always here and I was always there. And I loved traveling. And then I just left one day and I was just like, oh, I packed a really big, I went to the military surplus store, bought a bag. It was 68 pounds full of clothes. And then I talked to my parents, I like went down. In 10 days, I found a job. And then I found another job 5 days later. And then like 2 weeks after that, I found a third job, and then I called my dad and was like, sell my car for me and like take care of all this stuff. And he's like, what? And it's like, yeah, I'm gone. I just moved.
I'm done. Peace. I'm out.
Yeah. I'm out.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to hear that, like, they were at least cool with it.
My parents are the only people in my entire family that know that stream. I haven't like I'm a super independent person, so like it wasn't like, oh, let me tell my family and then whatever. It's really an interesting thing, especially when you tell people, especially boomers. They're like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, I'm a cam girl. That's the easier explanation. They're like, you work and you do the computers and you play the video games, do you keep your clothes on? Why does everyone always ask that? Like, yes, of course I keep my clothes on. No one wants to see this. I'm hairy.
Well, if you do follow you on Twitter and stuff like that, you do get the occasional workout video. So,
yeah,
we have
Twitter's.
seen those.
I'm trying to be more posting pictures on Twitter. I never post pictures, and Twitch is doing a thing where they're like introducing fitness into Twitch, and so they're having some people who have been previously doing workout content in IRL streams, and so I was just like, oh. I literally when I started streaming. So this is before I started streaming. This was my day. I was in the gym at 5 a.m. I was drive to my office and I'd be there around 7:30, and then I would work all day until like 6 o'clock. I would get out, and the rest of my day was watching either Co-Carnage VOD, or I was watching Tim at night, or I was watching like Summit or Dr. Lupo, or like someone who was grinding. And that was literally one day. So I worked in finance. I still have all my licenses and all that stuff. But like I worked in finance. I owned my own securities practice. And so it wasn't like I wasn't doing well. And so like, but it was like, oh, I'm not passionate about what I'm doing. And I kind of hate that more than half of my day is spent talking with like really snobby people about them being really snobby and like talking about really depressing things that no one wants to talk about. One of the things that I did was I did insurances for people. I also did like retirement planning and like rollovers for IRAs and 401ks and stuff like that. So I went from like super serious 3-piece suit every day, working 6 days a week minimum, to this
to a t-shirt and shorts, which no one ever sees, unless you decide to parkour in your bedroom again.
Streamers don't have legs. I don't know what you're talking about.
Amputees at the kneecaps. That's what I was thinking. So when you started like doing all this like transition over, you'd say, did you like hard cut? You're like, done doing this, gonna end up doing this?
I don't know how to say this without it sounding bad. I was just like, so here's what happened. I waited until so first of all, I was really stressed out. I was just like, I was getting up in the morning and I'm just like, I don't know.
You're talking about your job. Your job is stressing you out.
No, it wasn't even. It was the person I was becoming. Like, so I was literally like, so you know how like you'll watch, and I actually haven't seen this movie, which is kind of funny, but you know how like they always make reference to Wolf on Wall Street, and it was just a bunch of guys in suits and they're partying, they're doing drugs, and they're like, that was my life. And I've never done drugs my whole life ever, but I definitely could drink anyone under the table. I would always drink. And we would always like have these huge functions. We were all like doing well for ourselves, but it was a douchebag fest. We were all douchebags. And it was like, who could be the biggest douche? It was A-type personalities. Who's going to be the best? Who's going to like outmake this much money and someone else's whatever. And like, we were all competing for doctors and attorneys and like all this stuff. And it was just nuts. And I mean, granted, it's like, that's the life and that's fine. And I don't have a problem with it, but like, I'm just so much more passionate about this that the transition wasn't hard for me at all. And what I said to myself was, I didn't sell my book of business. I actually held on to it for a while, and I gave myself exactly 9 months. And then I was like, I'm just going to try this. And my dad was like, he would come down to visit because, he lives in Boston. He was going to retire. You probably know this. Not everyone knows this, but my dad's been a police officer in Boston for 30 some odd years. And so he was retiring, and he'd come visit me, and I'd have him up here, and he'd be like, oh, every night you're like watching these guys who are just like sitting playing video games, and you're like playing video games and you're watching them play video games. It's like, if you're really that passionate about it, why don't you try it? It was just a good opportunity. And so, like I said, like, I am a very independent person, but I do have the support of my friends and my families who do know about it. And it was just like an easy decision. I gave myself exactly 9 months, and I got partnered in 8. So.
And I was actually there. I think a couple of weeks after you got partnered. So,
yeah, it was a nice little reprieve on top of getting ETF.
Yes.
Which ETF for the division. And sent to Red Storm Studios. It was my first time meeting devs and a whole bunch of stuff, names in the credits of the game. It was a very cool experience.
It's because you figured out a way how to bug out the hunters, man. That's why.
Yes, that's true.
You bugged out the hunters in survival, and you were able to take them out with a pistol while everyone else was like getting owned in full.
In fairness, I would cheese the hunters for the pistol run so I could go as fast as possible, but I've also killed the hunters with just a straight up fight while freezing cold in all of my basic gear.
Yeah.
So I've done both, but the other one's just safer.
Yes, very safe.
Though the most popular clip of me on the internet is getting absolutely hammered by a hunter who didn't like my cheese, and he jumps over the railing on me, which you're not supposed to be able to do.
I will always remember that because you were just like, what? Huh? What? You were screaming at the top of your lungs. That was funny. That was good stuff.
I've never seen they have never done that. Their AI was like, it was something new.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They were like, we're going to get Denty. Click, 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 click.
You're joking. But when I went to ETF, they were like, oh, yeah, we got something for you when you get home. And I was like, thanks.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah. Elwood, did you have any questions? Because I'm just going to sit here yammering the whole time.
No, I mean, I feel like you know him a little better, so I'm kind of just almost listening like a listener.
What about you, MJ? Do you have any questions?
If anyone has questions about streaming or just general questions,
I got a list of them, so I just wanted to make sure that MJ had some, or Feld had any also.
That said, like take with a grain of salt. Right before I will totally answer your question, brother. But I'll say take with a grain of salt. My success, I've been like in hills and valleys. Like I've learned and I know what I need to do. I just like I'm not in a groove right now. Like my highest viewage on my own was just 1,000 viewers. So take that from someone who's never pulled more than 1,000 viewers by themselves. I've only ever just pulled exactly 995 viewers by myself, no host. So, actually that's not true. One time I had 10,000, but that was a weird situation. That was Warframe, and that was a hot drop, and they were just like sitting in my stream to like get drops. They weren't really watching. But yeah, otherwise, actual people talking, my success has never gone past that. So I'm not a Tim the Tat man, but I have learned and studied these people. An interesting side note, if you're looking for someone to study that hasn't really said what he's been doing, but he does interesting things, he's very transparent, Dr. Lupo. Ben is a really good guy to watch. He's very smart. But go ahead. I'll answer your question, MJ. Go for it, brother.
What do you think about TikTok?
I love TikTok. TikTok's hilarious. I'm on TikTok every day. I don't post on TikTok because I'm a boomer as far as they're concerned. But it is somewhere to be posting. Like I think Tim should be posting on there. He's got a good personality for it. I could post on there, but like I said, my humor is probably more leaning towards dark. So like I would just have to post like Instagram, same content. You know what I mean? Like I could post like if I was playing Fortnite, I could post that content, but my humor and the stuff that I think's funny is a little bit more dark. So.
Pete, you should do TikTok.
Oh yeah, yes. Everyone's gonna want to see me with doing TikTok.
What, you and your guinea pigs? Yeah.
Oh yes, yeah. Oh, that's true. That's true.
Guinea pigs, animals are super popular in TikTok.
Yeah,
super duper.
Oh, I'll have to get on that. Click, 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 click. That's what I end up doing on my Instagram. Like every single time on my Twitter. Like half of my Instagram and Twitter is video game stuff and guinea pigs. So it's like
I would argue that translating into views, Instagram, YouTube are way more important, but TikTok is a good place. So here's the thing about TikTok, right? It's like you're gonna get views from TikTok. You're not gonna get, and this I don't mean to make it about money, but if you're trying to make a living streaming, there's a difference between why people stream. If some people, I love when someone's streaming because they're passionate about streaming and they happen to be successful. I also love when someone streams because they enjoy streaming, they enjoy talking to people, and they just want to play the video games and they don't give a shit because they make enough money at their job and they're just doing it because they're having fun. I also love that.
That's
Only
me.
thing I would, yeah, there you go. There you go. It's not. It doesn't have to be about competing about who makes more money. When you go to a partner party, that's all it comes down to. A lot of people want to know what your view counts is. They want to know how many subs you got. Like it becomes like a dick measuring contest, and it's kind of shitty because it takes the spirit out of like, hey, we're supposed to be a community, but in reality, they just want to know who's making the most money and trying to become friends with the person who's got more viewage and more pull than them. But it's not like that for everyone. I think at a certain level, once you're like comfortable, you don't think that way, but when you're hungry, you're hungry. I can respect that because everyone's got to eat. You know what I mean? Chipotle ain't free. I get 2 burritos and extra meat.
you living on your Chipotle.
And I love Chipotle, man. That's where the gains are.
I understand.
But yeah, no. TikTok's great. It's going to translate into views, but you got to keep in mind too, like a lot of times when like you want to grow on platforms that generate revenue, because revenue is a resource. Money is just a resource for you to reinvest into your stream. If you're trying to grow your channel, you want to be able to, I'm not saying, oh, make money so you can have more money. I'm saying, oh, make money so you can pay another person to help you create your content. So you can pay an editor, so you can pay someone to watch your stream all day for 8 hours a day while you're streaming and cut your videos while you're streaming and put your videos on Instagram, put your videos on Twitter, put your videos on, and that ad revenue pays that person.
Well, do you know Arix, right? You've heard of him before?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So Arix is actually a really good friend of ours, and like I've had conversations with him and his other people.
I just remembered.
And
how I met him. It's funny.
And like the interesting thing about Arix is that, you know, it just started as him, him, and it's grown up into this big thing now where he's
got a team.
Yeah, he's got this team of people that are working with him, and he has like 4 or 5 streamers that are all producing all this quick, really, really, really strong content, and then they're just creating videos off of it, and the amount of revenue he's able to produce from those, you know, those YouTube videos, he's able to support, like, you know, his family and their families with it, and it's pretty amazing. It's pretty cool, and it's pretty nice to see that happen. That's happening. For you,
yeah, if you can do that, if you can do something like that and pull something like that, then like that is amazing. I think that what Eric's is doing is pretty phenomenal, and it's a rare occurrence too, because I've seen, like, I hate to throw these boys' names out because I like both of these guys.
Dude, you don't have to use names. Just use person X and person C.
There's
It's
just
perfectly
been
fine.
like I would, so there's like, if anyone's a Destiny fan, you probably know there's been two guys who streamed together forever. They were best friends and they streamed together on stream. And then to watch something like that, that literally that's the polar opposite of Eric's, right? Like he's like his boys and they're together and they work together and they do well together. And then there's like two guys who are working together and do well together. And I think that's like the scary. It's like, is it a coin toss or is that like one destined to happen versus the other? I don't know. It's a scary thought. But you were going to say something about me in regards to this?
Well, I was going to say, for doing like that side of the videos and stuff like that. Now, you're starting to venture more into doing the YouTube stuff now for yourself for the future?
I've been teaching myself. I'm one of those people, right? So it's like I will make a video, and if I don't like it, it'll never see the light of day. I'm like, you know how like people always come earlier when I asked you, or maybe it wasn't you or someone else. I was just like, oh, hey, how's the stream looking while I'm playing this game? They're like, actually better than some of the guys who play this, and they get a lot more viewers than you. I am like, I will literally after every stream, I will go and look at my stream, and if I see any blur at anything, any fast, I'm sitting there and tweaking for the next I don't know how many hours. I can get really OCD with it. And I think I need to take it out of my hands and let someone else, like who I can trust their creative, whatever, and be like, please do this so I don't have to look at it because I'll lose my damn mind.
Yeah.
And so in regards to creating the content, I create it and let them edit it and do their thing.
Well, you're very much a perfectionist in that aspect. Like you want things to be
competitive
perfect.
and a perfectionist, but also an overthinker. I have a personality trait. A fun name for it would be probably analysis paralysis, but I'm good at getting myself out of it.
Yep. Now, are you going to be going to any like conventions or anything this upcoming year? Are you going to try to go to like to the what is it called? Is it GCX? Or that was just down in Florida, or you're gonna be coming up back to Boston for PAX East, E3.
I haven't made any decisions about those. The only ones that I said that I was gonna go to was DestinyCon, and that's GCX. Because a bunch of people was around the corner, and they were like, "Can you do a meetup?" And I was like, "Sure, I can do that. It's not that far. I can go there. It's but I also have a trip planned to go to Paris for my birthday this year. So
turning 30.
Dirty 30, right? I'm gonna be an old not swearing.
I'm almost 40, man.
That's all right, man. That's all right. You're young at heart, you know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, so gonna go do that trip, and then my best friend's getting married. So like that's the only time off that I'm kind of allowing myself this year. And then I may TwitchCon. I was just talking to Macho earlier this morning. He's gonna go to TwitchCon, so maybe if he goes too, then we'll like link up. I know a lot of I really love going to TwitchCon just because it's one of the few times a year that like the people who you like would like to collaborate with, or you collaborated with, or you played with, or you met at a partner party or a thing, or Ubisoft did a thing and they brought all these people together. You get to meet them again, and just chill and like shoot the shit and have a drink and just like not be on and just be Trey versus being Denty, or being like Ben versus being Dr. Lupo, or Tim versus Tim. Actually, Tim was the first partnered streamer I ever met. So that was pretty cool.
The first partner streamer I ever met was Dan Otage. I met him when we were in PAX East, and it was pretty awesome. It was pretty cool.
Dan Otage. I feel like I know that name.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I'm actually working and talking to him, seeing if we can get him on here, because he was actually on he was on the main podcast.
Nice.
I should say the other podcast. A couple of months ago.
Yeah, no, I didn't think at all that I was on the sub podcast when you said that. I was on the...
Yeah, we're the second, the sister podcast, I guess you can call it.
Oh, yeah, and we're on the second string. We're on the benchwarming podcast. lit. Are sure I can't cuss? Because I'm starting to feel.
I feel bad now.
We're good. We're totally good. I'm trolling.
Yes, good.
Let's keep going.
All right. My video just. I'm just gonna cut that, make it a little easier for everybody. So do you get a lot of people that are coming into your chat and be like, what people call hateful chat?
I used to. I'm not real big on, so like I'm mixed, but like you get like a lot of weird race stuff when I first started streaming. You know, so like that's been a thing, but like I feel like that's just like stupid like Call of Duty chat. I don't really take it seriously. You can't whisper me and like you can't message me unless I let you, like on anything. Only thing that's open is like my Twitter DMs, and it's like it's kind of dangerous to Twitter DM someone because they'll fucking put you on full blast, and I totally will. I totally will. Go ahead and DM some shit I like. Yeah, but like, someone sends you like a Twitch message, it's a little bit more anonymity. I'm just quick to ban someone, dude. Like it's really hard to get out of my skin, dude. So like I don't pay attention to it and I don't remember. It's interesting you said that because I just remembered recently someone came into my chat and they were like, "Oh, dude, like, what's up, man?" And I was just like, "Yeah, what's up, dude?" Blah blah blah. And he was just like, "Yeah, like I don't know if you remember, but you and I used to have beef back in the division." And I was just like,
"Who are you? What's your name?"
Like he's like, "Yeah, man, we were like rivals, we were like enemies." And I was just like, "Enemies? I don't got no enemies. What do you mean?" I was like, "Wait, what happened?" He's like, "Yeah, and then I was doing my thing and you were doing your thing." And I was just like, "All right, brother. You do you, man. Like, you know what? It's all good." Yeah.
What we say is like, we're gamers. We game to game and have fun. So like, if you're playing a game that requires PvP, then you know what? I don't want to hear anything from you of hate that I just sniped you from halfway across a map, because that is what this game is. We're playing a game to have fun, and
you know what?
It happens to me, it happens to you, it happens to everybody.
I'm completely, honestly, I'm not like, so I'm not the biggest, like, so like if I was actually angry, I'd probably get quiet, right? Mm-hmm. That's me. Like, if I'm actually getting mad, bro, I'm not saying I didn't say a word. Like, I didn't flinch. I didn't say anything. I'm hot now because I'm not the type of person that's like, if you were saying something to me in my face, I'm not saying anything back to you, fam. I might yank my shirt off, but I'm not saying a word. Yeah, I'm like a knuckle sandwich type guy. Like I just grew up in Boston and we handle things by like fighting, and we might be friends afterwards, but I'm going to have to beat you up first. Even if I lose, like you're going to know how I felt about it. But like, so when people talk smack to me on the internet, like I love it, dude. I love it. Have you guys, so MJ, you were asking me if I like TikTok. You ever seen that TikTok where it's like, you don't like me?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's me. That's me, bro. That's my spirit animal. You don't like me? Yes. Please tell me you don't like me. Say it out loud so everyone can hear you, so I can go in. Mm-hmm. Yes, I don't care, dude. Don't like me. I love that. Tell me that you don't like me. I would love that. It's just, no, I love the competitive shit talking, because to me, all it is like someone starts running their gums in a video game, dude. They're just that passionate about it. They wanted to win that bad. And like, I don't want to even say like, oh, it feels good to be better, but it feels good to like know that they were that serious, or they take it that serious, or maybe they're that good, because you don't know all the time who you're facing off. But if they're that passionate about, they're trying that hard, then you're doing something right.
Right.
I say the same thing to streamers who get mad about stream snipers. It's like, bro, if you got stream snipers, you're doing something right. Someone's paying attention to you. They found you. Yep. All right. Welcome to the meat grinder. Occupational hazard.
Occupational hazard. Exactly. Do you? Oh, I had a really good question for you. Do you find yourself on the competitive side? Because did you do any competitive online games? Did you do Twitch Rivals or no? Did you guys decline that?
I did do it. I didn't decline it. It got canceled because there wasn't enough traction in the Division community. Like no one. They did one and it didn't go off, and I wasn't a part of that one because I think it was EU mostly, and it was like weird. And then they had a American one, and it was like me. I was in it. Solid was in it. Drew was in it. A couple other people, and they just canceled it like randomly. And then there's been other ones. So there was like a Code Red one for Call of Duty Blackout. But before I started streaming, I had never played a first person shooter. I had never really played competitive. I played like World of Warcraft forever. And then I played RPGs. Like I would play like Final Fantasy, Dragon Age, Borderlands 2, shoot 'em. If I was shooting anything, it was because it was like Borderlands or like Planet Side. I played like EverQuest. I played Ultima Online. I've been gaming since I was like very, very young. And the games that caught my attention were really heavily story-based games. So like multiple runs through Mass Effect. Some of my favorite, I would say honestly, all of my favorite games are all RPG games until I started streaming and I played The Division because I thought it was going to be an RPG game. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have. I played Destiny, and even I played Destiny for a while, even about the Destiny like limited edition PlayStation. Got the whole 9 again, going back to this part of me like wanting to have all the systems and stuff. But I just didn't stick with it super long. And like I found Elder Scrolls Online and started playing that. Like the Witcher series is coming out. Like,
well, that's what I was gonna say.
Stuff and nerdy stuff. That's me all day.
That's actually what I was gonna say. Like you just started playing the Witcher series. Is this your first time doing a full playthrough, or is it you just kind of picked it up for a little bit? Or
no, I played The Witcher 2. I didn't play The Witcher 1, so I didn't know the story. So when I watched the Netflix series, I was just like, what's going on here? And then when I played 2, I was kind of jumping into the, I just kind of jumped in the deep end, kind of, I felt like, and I had no context of anything about Girl, but I thought he was a badass. And then I played 3, but it was like, I was like 30 hours in, and then Elder Scrolls Online was playing, and so I wanted to be like a werewolf and an elf and a
vampire and everything.
Yeah, I actually had a really stupid tank character. I think it was like a night elf, but I was like whatever that fire tank class is. So it's like, oh, I'm weak to fire, but I use fire, and I was a vampire, so I was double weak to fire. And then, but I was just like really just playing it hard. I wanted to give myself as many handicaps as possible. Well, not handicaps, well, I guess disadvantages as possible. Yeah. And I was just playing and being super competitive with it. So that kind of competitiveness, I used to be competitive in World of Warcraft PvP. I competed in stuff like that, but I never competed in first person shooters, and I never played I would honestly say that aside from Planet Side or Borderlands, like playing a game even like The Division, that was the closest experience that I had. And then playing The Division, that was like, I played on console, and then I played on PS4, then Xbox. But then when I switched to PC, that was a whole new learning experience. And even still, like I've got like a custom keyboard and like, a super lightweight mouse and all that stuff now. But before I was using a Razer Naga and a Logitech G8 big Haas ass keyboard with a million buttons. So, competing and like having the skill set that I have now, before I started streaming, I didn't have it. I built it over time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So before we start doing our exits here, MJ, do you have any questions? You got any more questions for Denty? Or do you need a moment to think of one?
Recon Breakpoint.
What?
Ghost Recon Breakpoint. He asked me what I thought about it. You cut out there, but I think you asked me what I thought about Ghost Recon.
Did you play it?
Yeah, I played it.
Breakpoint?
I play all Ubisoft games. They give it to you. It's part of the package deal with your star player thing. Yeah. So I think so. Here's the thing, right? Like I was really hyped for Wildlands, and I got bored. Like I played it for 14 hours straight, and then I was just one tapping everything, and then like I tried to play it for a couple more days, and it was the most boring thing in the world. I could not, and I didn't want to say anything negative because Ubisoft had been showing me so much love, and I just didn't want to say anything negative. But it just wasn't a very good game. It wasn't engaging, and it had no replay value, and it got so bored, and the story wasn't very interesting. And so I was kind of like looking at the next one, Ghost Recon, as like what's it? Breakpoint, as like I don't know, bro. If you're like Wildlands again, then I'm not gonna. We're gonna have a bad time. But I thought Breakpoint was actually a really good step in the right direction. I do like that Ubisoft has an aesthetic. So like depending on what kind of game they're playing, you know it's an Ubisoft game. Like when you look at The Division, you're like, oh, that's Ubisoft. When you look at Siege, that's Ubisoft. When you look at Wildlands or Breakpoint or whatever, look at that's Ubisoft. So I kind of like how they're going in the right direction. I just think that they're just not. I feel like everything that they're doing is just a half measure, and it's like I don't know if they're like not going all the way, or they need to put one foot on the shore, or if it's because they're using the terminology Tom Clancy, the name Tom Clancy, that they can't go all out.
Yeah.
Because they've had so many opportunities to do something like I don't know if everyone here is familiar with Escape from Tarkov, but Escape from Tarkov could have literally been usurped by so many other companies.
Yep.
They just didn't see it coming. I literally have clips of myself saying this. I've been saying this for 2 years to the devs in their faces, in person, at PAX, at ETF, at wherever I see them. Listen, guys, you're sleeping on this game that's going to blow up. And it's slow right now. And they've got like 12 devs and they're in Russia and you guys are thinking this game's not whatever. And they're going to get tired of the cutesy Fortnite stuff and they're going to want something gritty. And that's going to be that game. And here we are.
Yeah.
Hashtag 2020.
Well, I can't think of the name of the game, but off the top of my head. But the original there was
in fairness, Sally, let me just say I didn't actually answer MJ's question.
Oh, sorry.
I thought the game was a step in the right direction, but it just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for me personally.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I agree with you. Like I actually was on the fence about buying it, and I decided to not buy it. And then I saw what everyone did, and they were just like, "This is exactly like Wildlands," and I wasn't a huge fan of Wildlands, so I was like, not buying it. So I agree with you know with what you were saying. I knew I kind of saw it, and I saw it fall flat, and I was like, this isn't my cup of tea. But to take a step back, what you were saying about the guys from Escape from Tarkov, this is actually the original developers. It was developed originally by two guys, and they are still really good friends. And the main development team that grew and they started building out the main part of the game. One group of them wanted to go towards Escape from Tarkov, and another one wanted to go towards very much like a COD type way of playing it, and I can't think of what that game is called off the top of my head, but they ended up splitting the development team. They got
a divorce. It was amicable, and they went their separate ways.
They went their separate ways. They're still friends and everything, but they separated.
They have visitation rights.
Yeah, exactly. They have visitation rights on the computer once a week. But so they ended up splitting up, and
better than every other weekend.
They ended up the one game ended up kind of falling flat on its face because it is literally a clone to Call of Duty, and that whole entire Call of Duty realm, if you will,
Wait, is that futuristic game?
No, I can't think of what it's called. It wasn't futuristic, but it kind of is falling flat, and it's still in that early access, just like Escape from Tarkov is. But the Escape from Tarkov guys are just they're killing it, and it's very impressive.
Yeah, it's an ultra core survival game.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And I'm not. It's way more than hardcore. It is ultra core.
It is. It is. And me personally, I like the challenge. That's why I'm in it. But
you're a masochist. I get it. All right.
Exactly.
Change the whips, leather masks. Let's go.
We'll get out of my basement. So
Zed is dead, baby. Zed is all right. No, Pulp Fiction fan. All
right. Elle, do you have any questions for Denti that you could think of?
Yeah. Do you go to E3 or any of that stuff?
I did. So the last one I went to, which was last year, I went to PAX. Ubisoft sent me to PAX, and the hotel room I was staying in, I got like something bit my face, like a bed bug or something bit my face, and I had a severe allergic reaction. So I haven't been to anything since, just because the doctor said it was going to take 8 months for the venom to get out of my system. So I just kind of missed everything, and I just felt like shit. It was a weird situation, so I've kind of been like chilling on doing events, but like I said, I'm gonna go to Guardian Con as long as it doesn't interfere with my trip, and then I will do TwitchCon if they send me anywhere for anything. That would be awesome, but those are the only two that I have planned for right now.
Was Knowledge the one that asked you to meet him down there for GCX?
It was Nerf, actually.
Nerf?
I've actually met Knowledge. I met Knowledge before. I met him at Guardian Con 2 years ago.
Yeah, because one of the other podcasts from the team here is The Last Word, and Ibantis and Lord Cognito. Those two guys end up they go down there and do a lot of press right from the floor, and talk to a lot of those guys. It looks really, really nice, and it's actually one of there's a couple of conventions I really, really want to go to, and that is one of them. I want to try to make it to E3. I really want to make it to Guardian Con, and PAX East. I always go to because it's in my hometown. It's just a train right away. So it's gonna be interesting to do that. So, I'm sorry, you guys.
Yeah, no. I was just gonna say those are the only ones I have planned to go to, but usually, so like here's the thing, L, and pro tip. I don't know if you're streaming actively or trying to compete. Fun fact about when someone you know who might be like part of your rainforest, and they might be top of your canopy. If they're going somewhere, that's a good time to be streaming. I actually learned that from K-Goth. There was one year and he was just like, if you go to TwitchCon this year, you're going to regret it. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, like I was going, I already like bought everything, but it was like a good time to be in the Warframe directory. And he knew beforehand that it was a good time to be in the Warframe directory. And that was when like, me at the time, I maybe had like around 300 subs, and then like someone who is like kind of coming up or like neck and neck with me at the time would be like Macho. He was in the same directory and he got in the Warframe directory, and he ended up like going from less subs than me to double my subs in like the 3 days I was gone. And so it's an interesting thing sometimes when it's not super important. And I love Macho. That's the bro. I was literally talking to him this morning. But when you miss an opportunity, it's like, I got to hang out with my friends. I got to like network with devs. And you said, Elle, I believe that you're like familiar with a lot of Microsoft people. And so like, I think that year I got to meet like Andy Lanique and a bunch of people, you know what I mean? Like, so I got to like be around people and it was a really great time, but they know my face and that's great. Maybe some stuff came from it. Maybe some stuff didn't come from it. But like that was like a wave. And sometimes when you have momentum, that's all it takes is for like, all of a sudden you've got this momentum, and then someone else who like might be in like another league ahead of you notices you, and then you guys link up, and then a thing happens, and another thing happens. And that's like the story of Dr. Lupo. So he went from like, I used to watch him when he had like 300 viewers. I think something that, if I remember correctly, what he used to do was he would play with a mouse and keyboard on console, and it triggered the shit out of people. And it was like clickbait almost, right? Like people would watch that. And so he kind of was in the King Ithalian directory. He links up with King Ithalian, and then it was one thing after another. Like he got to rub shoulders, he got to like move, he got to do this, he got to do that. So there's the networking aspect of it that's important, and then there's being in the right place at the right time. Running into like playing PUBG when people were doing the PUBG partner thing, and like running into Summit and then killing Summit, and then him doing the famous clip. It's like, Lupo, I know that guy. And then the playing with Ninja, and then his friendship came with Ninja, and then going all around, and then being friends, like being best friends with Ninja when Ninja blows up, and then Ninja pretty much taking his crew with him. Like it's just like you're kind of always like gauging it when you're competitively trying to make a living doing this, and you want to be the most successful, and you want to reach the most and biggest audience, and you want to touch everyone, and you want them to be a part of your community, and you want to be a part of other people's communities too. You're always kind of like weighing your options and what's like a good idea to like miss or go to an event.
Mm-hmm. No, that's what you're saying is kind of what I've always said. I've kind of felt like you have to, networking is important, and also being in the right place at the right time. And it's like being struck by lightning. It's all like circumstance. It's all like one thing will hinge on another, which will hinge on another, and you won't know until it happens.
Well, it's all like sometimes you make your own luck. Like let's take like Tim the Tatman, right? Like I'm probably telling you guys something you already know, but like Tim the Tatman will attribute his success with his channel to the momentum he got from one time making a video for Soda Poppin'. And that's actually how I found Twitch, was Soda Poppin'. I was playing World of Warcraft, and I was duoing with my duo partner, and we're in arena, and this druid came in and he 1v2'd us, and he absolutely shit on us both. And I just I Googled his name because I was like, this guy's doing something. I didn't know you could cheat in World of Warcraft. What is he doing? And then I was just like, oh, he's just a god. He's like an actual god. And that's how I found Twitch, dude. Justin TV, I think.
Justin TV back in the day. Back in the day.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, well, this has been a fantastic conversation. I had a great time talking to you and to like learn, you know. What was that?
I said the pleasure was all mine. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for coming. You know, so why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
On fans only / I'm just kidding.
Kidding. God.
Yeah, I had to. And so my name is Denty, D3n7y. Everyone just calls me D3 or Dent. Oh, it doesn't really matter. You can find me on Twitter. All my socials are D3n7y. The 3 is an E. The 7 is a T. / D3n7y on Twitch. Come hang out and just shoot the shit. It's a very like bro down, chill guy, girl. It's very like safe place. I don't let anybody bully anybody but me. So yeah, it's a good place to chill. And right now we're playing Escape from Tarkov. I play Fortnite, Escape from Tarkov, Destiny, and The Division. I'm looking for something to sink my teeth into. It might be Escape from Tarkov if I get good. If I don't get good, then it's gonna be fans only /
You got to make your money somehow, right?
Yeah, you know. Sometimes you got to do a little strange for a little bit of change. You know, I got no shame.
So, excellent.
I've seen Magic Mike. I know how that man's career started.
Oh,
all right?
Boy. Oh boy. MJ, how about you, bud?
You can find me at Twitch at MJ is a boss. You can find me on Snapchat at let's see here, Beat101. Reaching 430,000 snaps.
He's a crazy man with that Snapchat.
Yep.
You're gonna
So how long do I have to be sub to get your bubble bath only Snapchat, fans only Snapchat? Just asking for a friend.
For what?
I'm totally kidding.
Oh boy, get a room. L, what about you, bud?
I'm sorry. What'd you ask me?
So where can we find you?
I thought that's what you asked, but I didn't. Yeah. Anyways.
Sorry, breaking it down.
You can find me on Mixer weekdays, Monday or actually Tuesday through Friday, about 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Mixer, LBoogie0208, and then I'm on Twitter always, LBoogie0208, to make it easy for everyone.
Excellent.
Can I ask Elle a question? I didn't know you streamed on Mixer. Sure. What's that like? What's the vibe like? Vibe check.
I like it. I mean, I've been on Mixer since it was Beam. And I just, I'm one of those people, like you said, I'm mainly doing it just to have fun, I mean, when I make accomplishments, it's nice. Like I just got 1,000 followers. So that's nice, but I don't know. I make enough money, so I'm not trying to like.
Damn. Okay, she got money.
I mean, I don't have money like that. I'm just saying, like, I have upward mobility in my own career, so.
Right. No, I feel you. Like I said, it's literally everyone's doing it for different reasons.
Right.
But I'm just curious what it's like on Mixer. It's kind of it's a Twitch move to talk shit about Mixer, but I think it's interesting. I like the idea that other companies are making Twitch sweat because Twitch has to be better.
Oh yeah, because everybody has to be better, right? As competitors come in, everybody has to do better to keep brand loyalty. But what was I gonna say? You're starting to see a lot of people move over, but I feel like Mixer tries to do a little bit more to keep their people around. I thought it was surprising when they got Ninja and everybody else, but I think they needed those people to kind of boost their platform.
Ninja Shroud.
Because they're just huge. They're just huge names, So, but yeah, I mean, like they did Ember Straw So I know you guys stream with Twitch, and Twitch has their affiliate program. But guess what? I get to do Embers for All and not have to be constricted by you can't stream anywhere else type of thing.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Is that? I don't think that's for affiliates, is it?
So affiliates, we can't stream in both locations at the same time. So I can't stream on any other platform other than Twitch at that time. But I can end up like stream on Twitch, and if let's say I'm done at 5 o'clock, I finish at 5, and then at 5:01 I can start up on Mixer, and I can stream on Mixer. So I can't produce content in 2 locations at once. It is only for Twitch at that time. It's very similar to YouTube. Like if I had my own personal YouTube channel and I was gaming on Twitch, I cannot stream to YouTube at the same time. So it's very much a restricted thing. Whereas Mixer, you can pretty much do whatever you want at any time. There's no restrictions.
And I mean, Mixer is open because Mixer is the underdog right now. Like YouTube and Twitch are like, these are mine. I have mine already. You need to go find your own. So,
mine,
right,
mine.
basically.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. That's cool. But I like that. Like I said, I like that. And Mixer, I wouldn't count Mixer as the underdog. Mm-hmm. Mixer just hasn't like caught their stride yet. They have the potential to like really take a dump on, like, let's say that they gave something to Xbox people, like just console gamers, incentive. I think that would make such a huge difference. Imagine if you had some kind of incentive to stream on their platform right now. Let's say you're like, let's be real. Let's be real for 2 seconds. If you're an affiliate, there's a chance you're paying Twitch to be an affiliate. There's a chance. If your channel's not getting subs, if your channel's not whatever, there's a chance that is happening. Right? Because I don't know. The affiliate program when I got partnered wasn't a thing. I didn't get to be an affiliate first. I don't know what the rules are, but I do know that if you want the option to get subs and emotes and all that stuff, there's a chance that if your channel doesn't have a certain number or a certain thing, you could be affiliate and then actually be like kind of paying Twitch.
No, we actually have similar breakdowns as partners to the partners. Like if you want, we could talk actual specifics later, but yeah, the breakdown is actually very similar. So I mean, you can do.
Well, let me just ask one question then, because this is my perception. If I'm wrong, I can be wrong. I'm okay with that. But like, so someone told me that let's say you get affiliate, but then you have no subs for an X amount of time, you have to almost like pay like a dues fee for not having a certain thing. Is that not the case?
No.
That's not okay. Well then,
no.
Well then, I just wrong.
Yeah, cool. yeah. Because the way the affiliate program works, you can be part of the affiliate program, but you would have to just state you do not want direct deposit. Direct deposit is what causes a fee. So you can cancel your direct deposit. It's in the fine print. If you actually, a lot of people don't read those documents. They're just like, oh, I'm gonna get affiliate. I'm just gonna sign. Yes.
Like I said, I heard this secondhand, but yeah, absolutely. That hype's real.
Yeah. So if you have direct deposit and you say yes to the direct deposit portion of it, then yes, you will get a fee, but it's technically not coming from Twitch. It's technically coming from the bank. So the bank is hitting Twitch because you're forcing direct deposit on something that has nothing on it, and then that direct.
I'm glad for the clarification.
Yeah, and then Twitch will back hit you. That's how that works.
All right.
Yes. So,
I actually do like the affiliate program, but I didn't know that Mixer had one too. Does YouTube have one too? They have like a oh yeah, well.
YouTube doesn't exactly have one. You just have to hit 1,000 subs in your YouTube page, and then it's like flicking a little switch, and then they allow you to monetize your videos, and they allow.
It's not 1,000. I think it's more than that.
No, it's 1,000. No. I'm 100% positive it's 1,000 because that's what we hit.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because the Ironlands podcast, we got our monetization options once we hit 1,000 subscribers.
Oh yeah. Also, YouTube.com/D3n7y. Also, discord.gg/D3n7y. I forgot about this. That's my first time being on a podcast. I'm gonna be honest. I have ADD real bad, so like I don't listen to podcasts unless I'm doing something else, which is I usually listen to like meditation stuff. It's like, you are calm. You do not have ADD. It's okay that you can't pay attention. Look, a plastic bag. That's usually me.
We have a
That's
couple
my
of podcast members that I know they can't sit on a podcast and not do anything either.
Yeah.
I know that they'll like. I'm not talking about us specifically. I'm talking about the other podcast. One person is always playing some type of game or Pokemon or something while they're doing the Iron Lords podcast itself. So
Fair enough.
addict. So anyway, yeah, I'll call him out on that. So anyhow, did you have any other questions, Denty, for L while we're before...
How much wood could a woodchuck check? Woodchuck could check wood. No, I think we're good.
You're good. Okay. All right. And myself, I am Snaldo, SNALYDO. You can check me out on Twitch from Monday to Friday, 7 to 10. If I am not there, I am here on Mondays. And you know, I'm on Twitter. I am in our Discord. I'm in all that fun stuff. If you're looking for myself. And I'd like to thank everybody else for hanging out this evening. I greatly appreciate the chat. The chat was pretty intense. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you, MJ, for chit-chatting with everybody while we got to speak to Denty. The episode is going to be coming up on Wednesday mornings. You'll have it up before anyone else. I usually have it set so it goes off at like around 5 o'clock, so you can get it on all of your different platforms that you're looking at for Spotify, YouTube, all that fun stuff. If you guys end up wanting to have questions for any of our guests, you can email us at roundtablestreamteam@gmail.com. Our Twitter is TableStream. If you would like to see our updates and who's our guests and things like that, go ahead and go there. I have a couple of people we're looking to finalize. In addition to that, we're going to be having the writers from Lords of Gaming. I can't talk today. LordsofGaming.net. We're actually having our writers come on because we wanted to give you guys a little bit of an insight from a writer's perspective on what it means to be working on a website, what it means to be working on the our website, and other types of platforms, and what makes them passionate for making them want to do those things. That's going to be happening between now and the end of February. So we're going to be having those guys on. Once again, the Iron Lords podcast is on Sundays. They are back onto non-sporting time. In other words, they're going to be starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the YouTube page. So by all means, if you are here and you found us, please hit that subscribe button so you can go check them out or us on Monday evenings. Thank you again, everybody, for everything. Oh, I totally forgot to ask Denty my final question. My quick final question for you, bud.
Can I ask a question before you ask your question?
Sure.
Because I've been calling you Snally since the jump, fam. And you just said your name was Snaldo? What the fuck, bro? What do you mean?
Dude, nobody can ever pronounce it. I never tell people it's right or wrong. That's why.
Oh my God, bro. Come on. I've got Snaldo in the veins now. I don't know how to snell. What is it now? I can Snally or Snaldo.
People,
oh my God.
Most people, they'll end up calling me Snally, or they'll just call me by my real first name, which is Pete. So it doesn't matter to me. But Snaldo is the correct pronunciation. So most.
Yeah. All right.
So what if you could live in one video game world or environment? What would it be? Would you love?
Ooh. Oh, Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic.
That good old time frame.
Yeah.
The MMO time frame.
The MMO time frame.
Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful.
This is, I don't even care even after microtransactions. Like, I loved that game.
Yep.
The first MMO that had full-on voice acting, decisions that actually changed the game. CNC gameplay is for me. And an MMO environment where you can't go back. You literally have to re-roll an entire new character to go back. Beautiful. Star Wars landscape, I'm about it. Give me force powers, ya yeet, dab.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Denty. Greatly appreciate your time here. Thank you so much. And remember, everybody, dream big and keep gaming. And we'll see everybody next week. I have a couple of people in the wings that are looking to come on and just trying to finalize those times. Keep an eye on the Twitter, and you guys will see who. All right. Thanks again, everybody. Bye, everybody.
What's poppin'?